This is Mark the Meerkat from the Grok Day Trading Chat Room, brought to you by Grok Trade, with the Grok Trade year-end results. Are you ready, folks? Here's the bottom line first. We had 1,777.4% return on risk for the year for the over 2,400 trades that we made, and a portfolio return of about 355.5% for the year. That's the net, folks. Yes. Hoo-ah! It's happy dance time. Now, wait. Mark, you gotta be kidding me. Not kidding you. This is the real deal. This is the actual results, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you want to just be patient with me here over the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what we do and exactly where we get all of those numbers. Are you ready? So let's talk about the day trading chat room. We trade for 2 hours each morning, and we did it for about 211 days this year out of the possible trading days, about 240. So let's take a look at each day. We look at the market and see what stocks are moving, and we have a focus list in the morning. And then when it opens up, I post this trade log each and every day. And when I enter an order, I call it out. And when I enter it, I put my exact entry in, tell you where my stops are, if I take out a partial or if I take out the exit. And then we end up with a percent gain or loss on each one of our trades. And I count break-even trades, by the way, as expense trades. So again, here's a day. We had 10 trades that day, which we do 10 to 12 trades in the first 2 hours of trading in the morning. And that's all we do as far as time-wise. And then we track the number that we had of income versus expense. And it's a very good day. We have a 60% target income versus expense rates, and we were 80% this particular day. We track the number of errors that we make where we don't follow our trading rules, and then we try to get a net gain for the day of 5%. Now let's return on risk. I'll talk more about that in a few moments. 10% stretch goal. And so this particular day, was an exceptional day. That happened to be 9.5%. So let me just show you a couple of other days that we have here. Let's go to here it was from the 11th here of December. We had a few more trades that day, and again, just you can see typical down here. Here's an expense trade here. That counts as an expense trade. I'm sorry, break-even trade counts as an expense trade. And then we have, in this particular day, we were at 69%. Well, that was really good. Here's our next day. We had a lot of trades that day, 16 trades, but we were only, look at this, only 56% on our success rate, and only able to bring in 3.2%, below our 5% target. Now, what we're also doing during the week then is we're adding this up for the week here. And again, this is posted as I call them out, and then put them up there. If I get in, I don't always get in because as the leader of the room, I'm required to call the trade out and then get into it myself. Otherwise, it'd be 4 running trades, and that's not legal. So now there's members of the room, they can get in and tell us about it later. That's fine, but that's okay. So here it is, the end of the week now here, the week ending December 14th. Here's the last day. We had 10 out of 12. We had a very good week here. Again, the day, 10 out of 12, 6.9%. So here we added up the week. Now, we don't trade every day. My commitment is to be there at least 15 out of the 20 days per year. And for the whole year, we averaged about 4.1 trading days per week. Part of that would be if I have a lesson day where I'm in sim mode and not trading my real live account, and we're teaching during that time, and we have mentoring that we do on the Mondays. And again, the Grok room is open for a while. And I do a lesson during that, and they actually watch me trade my sim account live. Again, for lesson purposes. So on all the days that we actually traded, that's what this is recorded for. So for the week there, this particular week, we had an exceptional week. Look at that, 71% success rate. That's above our 60% target. And our normal weekly, our goal is 5% per day. So for the week, it would be normally 25% if we traded 5 days. We only traded 4 this week, so that it was a 20% target. This particular week, we were at 30% and our 40% stretch goal if we got 10% per day. So we were right in the middle between our target goal and our stretch goal. So what does it? So we will take this and then put it onto a spreadsheet tracking the entire week. These statistics right here. So what do we mean by percent gain? Or for example, here this last trade here on J&J, 2% gain. Well, again, it's a percentage-wise? That's simply the difference between your entry and your exit divided into the entry, right? That's your percent gain or expense. Now, what does that mean? Well, we have what because my account size and lot size are none of your business, and folks in the room, it's none of my business how big their accounts are, how big they're trading. That's their own personal business. So we only deal in percentages there. So we have what we call a model portfolio, that if you trade $10,000 each trade, that's right, if you invest $10,000 each trade, then you adjust the number of shares depending on the price of the stock. Then and we have a 1% stop set. We're risking $100 per trade. But for every 1% that we make, then that's a $100 in the model portfolio. So if you want to equate this to dollar amounts. So in this case, we have a 1% stop and a 2% target. We happen to sit target here on the last two trades that particular day. As you can see, 2%, 2%. So that would have been about $200 equivalent. For this day, we're about at 6.9%. We were at about $690 for 2 hours worth of work. That's pretty darn good work if you can get it. So we take this then, and we roll that into a weekly one. So let me go to the weekly chart here in our tracker, and I'm going to zoom in here for a minute and tell you exactly what's in this particular, how this is formatted. So again, our goal here is a minimum of 5% or $500 a day. Based on $10,000 lot size. That's what this is all based on. So if your lot size is different and you use this tracker, you can just put in how much you're trading on each trade. And then that would mean, now if we can just achieve that 4 days out of the week, again, we average 4 trading days a week of live trading. So that's why I put that number in there. That would be about 2,000 a week, about 8,000 a month, about 9,600 a year, if we hit the 5% target. Now, our stretch goal is 10%. That would be $1,000 a day, but if we just did that 4 days a week, that would be $4,000 a week, $1,600 a month, or $192,000 a year in income. That's the net of all the expense and the income trades added together. Now, our goal again is a success rate of 60%. We make money on 6 out of 10 trades. And again, I'm conservative in that my break-even trades, I consider them expense trades. It's just to understate a little bit of where we are with that. So let's take a look at what we're tracking, and then this spreadsheet does it on the per week basis. That weekly addition on Fridays, we then add it. So for example, here we're just going to go down the left side of this, looking at we traded 4 days because of January the 1st on that particular week. We had 24 income trades, total trades of 46. That gives us 52% for the week. 0 errors. So I added up for the quarter here. I'm just going to go down this section of it first here, and that's to show you where we got our numbers. So at the end of the first quarter, we averaged 4.5 trading days. We had a total of 394 income trades out of 667 total trades. That gave us 59.1%, just under our 60% target. Then again, second quarter, the same thing. Again, when you have an errors, I actually have a notation here on the far right here as to what it was, what the error was. For example, this one was I did not transmit my stop. So I put a stop in place and forgot to transmit it on my platform. Again, whether I made money on the trade or not is irrelevant. I made an error, and when I make an error, I cannot count on the accuracy of the effectiveness of my trading system over time if I keep not following the rules, right? So that's just an example. Again, for the second quarter, we were up to 68% success rate. That's cool. And then third quarter here, we struggled in third quarter. It was still going up at this point in the broad markets. Again, if it goes up or goes down, we can make money either way. And so I was on vacation for one of those weeks, so I had 0, 0, 0 here. Again, if I'm not calling those trades, it doesn't go in here. If I'm in sim account. So again, 61% there, and then we're back in line here. with that. So for the year now, it's just the fourth quarter, we were up to 63%. That's just for the quarter. So let's look at the overall results just for our success rate here, and you can see that we, on average, you can see that we had a total trading days of 211 days that I was trading my account live. And that averages out to be 4.06 days per week. So about 4 days per week that we were trading. And total called trades, and these are called trades. These are trades that I called out and got into, about 2,400 trades. Again, we're only doing this 2 hours each morning. 2,400 trades there, and out of those 1,540 of them were income trades. So it gives us a net of 63.3% success rate. That's above our target of 50. Now, for the year, I did have 7 errors that I made, and then I had to try to make corrections about those. So out of the 2,400 trades I did, 7 of them I made an error on. That's called discipline, right? Staying with my rules as much as I can. All right, let's go back up to the top here and let's talk about money. And again, if you have a $10,000 purchase per trade, so again, you're adjusting the amount of shares that you're doing on, depending on the stock. Then again, we were talking here in the first part of January here. We had 30% return on that first week, and then that, again, with $10,000, that ends up being about $3,020 for the week. Again, and then these are just kind of these two columns here, just to say, well, if we're hitting our 5%, where would we be at dollar-wise? Here it is if we were on our stretch goal, and then we'll accumulate dollar-wise here for the entire year in this column right here. That's accumulating it for the entire year as we go along. Again, $10,000 equivalent. So that would be at 40. So down here for the percent for the quarter, we're at 462. That equates to about $46,000 for the quarter in income if you're at a $10,000 lot size. So these are the actual results. So I have every trade documented. Then we just sum that up for the week, and then we keep working our way down here. So we were averaging 35% per week. And again, what was our target? Our target was 25%. Then it ends up being about $3,500 per week on average for the first quarter, just the first quarter data. Second quarter data here, we take a look here. We had a great second quarter. We averaged about 44% per week, and that's $4,400 per week on average for the entire quarter. And then we pulled it up. We had a rough third quarter, as I mentioned. Only 20. We were right at target, 25.2% on average for the week. Again, that's our target, and that would give us about $2,500 per week, based on $10,000. And then on the last quarter of the year, the market was falling, but hey, we rebounded. We ended up with 31% here for the quarter, and about $3,100 per week. So here it is for the year, folks, and where I came up with some of those numbers that I started the program with. Here we are. So we total accumulation, percent-wise, we are at 1,777.4%. That's the accumulated percent. And again, at $10,000 lot size, that equals $1,770,000 for the year of income. Yeah. And I came up with a portfolio return of 355%. How did I come up with that? I started with $50,000 and then, divided that into the $1,770,000. So that's if you did $10,000 per trade and you started with a $50,000 account. We'll say, well, I have a $100,000 account. Well, then let's put that in. Let's put in, see, 100,000, right? So that would have been, you would have only had 177% return on your investment for the entire year. Now, I don't know about your swing trading account, but I mean, I was great for the first 3 quarters of the year, but this last quarter, it struggled. I was mostly in cash, but I didn't quite make that on my swing account. That's if you had $100,000. Well, you need at least $25,000 to do day trading. And so say you just had a $30,000 account to start the year last year, you would have been at 592% return for portfolio return for the year. Ouchie, wow, right? So again, I'll go back to the 50 here, not knowing what your account size is, nor do I care. It's none of my business, but that should give you an idea of what the portfolio return was for the year. So, did everybody in my chat room get every one of these trades? Absolutely not. In fact, there's a trader in there that's been with me for over 10 years, Dr. Mike, and his goal is to get half of what I do per day. People getting into calls that I make, they also get into trades on their own and then letting us know about them as well. That's the beauty of being in a chat room for 2 hours a day from people literally all over the world. 6 different countries, 7 different time zones are trading with us. Now, would you like to join us in the chat room? You're more than welcome to. Just need to go to groktrade.com. That's right, groktrade.com. Here's the head page, and you just go up here to day trading chat, and you can go to a free webinar. That's right, a free webinar here on how to day trade, how to win at day trading. Just click right there. But you can read about it here. No, thank you, Des. He's talking away there. So we have, this describes what the chat is, a lot of what I've talked about here. And we trade from, we start at 9 o'clock to look at what we're going to trade that day. We're finished by noon, and this is all Eastern time. And you can read about it here. Who is in the room? We have people that have been in that room have been trading with me for almost 10 years now. We have those that have been trading with me for 2 weeks, and a wide variety of ability levels. Some come in have never day traded before. Others have come in experienced but weren't being successful, and now they're finding success when they're with us. Again, here's a little bit about me, Mark the Meerkat. And I do trade my account live every day, or if on a lesson day, I'll be in a sim account, and then we can do it together. But here's what we do: we look at it together in pre-market. Then once the market opens, I just put up that log sheet so you can be looking at your charts as I'm calling things out. Hey, I'm seeing a rising wedge on this. I'm setting a trade ready to go long if it breaks this point. So I'm telling you all along, and I'm also telling you where my stops are, where my initial stop is, and then am I managing my stops? I'm telling you about that as well. So that's all audible, so you can be looking right at your chart or managing the trade that you are in with me. Again, here's that log sheet, and these are the stocks that we were focusing on that particular day, just as an example. And then you got some pretty quotes here, and all that. But this one is particularly interesting. This is Lori, who's a retired state worker from Wisconsin. She says, cutting losers short is the biggest change in my trading, and has made a difference. I'm also a lot less emotional when I lose on a trade. She said, I had a good day, learning so much, and she says, I'm a great teacher, and I really appreciate you and all of the people in the room here, because we're sharing all the time, and I'm having so much fun. So she's been with us now about 3 months and has turned her trading around. She'd been trading and trading in other rooms, but none of them were helping her. So I do have the heart of the teacher, so warning, I will be teaching all along as I'm doing it. I'm telling you not only what I'm doing, but why I'm doing it, so you can learn as you go along if you'd like to join us. So you can join us on a month-by-month basis. Just hit join now monthly, and then or you can you can join us on an annual subscription, and there's a big savings. Maybe if you go to that webinar we talked about at the beginning up here, click to go to that webinar. There's an offer for an annual subscription, but both of those come with, try us out for 7 calendar days. If it works for you, great. Hey, if it doesn't, that's okay. Full refund, no harm, no foul. And so come and see if you like, if it could make a difference in your trading. So this is Mark the Meerkat. After a banner day in the Grok Day Trading Chat Room, I invite you all to join us. But for this 2019, may it be your best trading year ever.